Here's a quick review on how we identify the legs and hypotenuse of a right triangle. So before we get into the actual drawings, let's go ahead and just remember what a right triangle looks like. So a right triangle has three sides, of course, because it's a triangle, and a right angle. And then let's go through these statements so we can make sure that we understand how each of the legs and the hypotenuse are related to each other and the right angle within the triangle. Looking at our right triangle, let's go ahead and label the triangle with the leg on the bottom. We have a leg here on the left, and then the diagonal side is going to be our hypotenuse. And we know this because the hypotenuse is always directly across from our right angle, which we see here. So that being said, let's go ahead and check our statements here on the right. It says the hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle. That is in fact correct. The hypotenuse is the side opposite of the right angle. We just talked about that in labeling the hypotenuse, so that is also correct. The legs of a right triangle are adjacent to the right angle. So adjacent meaning next to. And so here's the right angle. My leg is right next to it on the bottom and right next to it here on the left. So that is also correct. The longest side is always opposite of the right angle. Well, if the hypotenuse is always the longest side, then yes, that is true. And therefore, all of these statements are correct about our right triangle. And so now that we know this, let's go ahead and look at some examples of right triangles and try to identify if the side represents a leg or if the side represents a hypotenuse. So in this set of triangles, we are being asked to look at, we're going to go ahead and figure out for each triangle that is given, is the side indicated a leg or a hypotenuse? So triangle A, we have the 5-inch side. So again, I'm going to start by looking for my right angle, which is right here. And then this 5 inches is directly next to or adjacent to the right angle, which means this is going to be a leg. In triangle B, we're looking at the 5-foot side. So again, look for that right angle. So our triangle here is kind of rotated, but our right angle is here. And notice that the 5 feet is not next to or adjacent to the right angle. It is across from it. So that means it's going to represent a hypotenuse. In triangle C, we're looking at the 1 centimeter side. Don't let this fool you. Both of them are 1 centimeter. So we want to make sure that they actually represent the same thing, and they do because they're both directly next to that right angle or are adjacent to that right angle, meaning that they're going to represent a leg. In triangle D, our right angle is here in the upper left corner. We're looking at the 6-yard side, and that is connected to the right angle or adjacent to it. So that's going to be a leg. And then finally in triangle E, our right angle again is here at the top, and directly across from it is this 15 meters that we're interested in, so that represents a hypotenuse. So remember, legs are adjacent to the right angle or make up the right angle, and the hypotenuse is always the longest side or directly across from the right angle.